Thinking of another one of my neighbor here who left early, a successful counselor that I believe probably did her clients right, but that, like most of you, is quite shocked meeting her first Homo sapien within, less than 48 hours, realizing, I think that's an Homo sapien. I would be shocked as well. I mean, I'd be shocked, but I'd be full of joy and not running away. I'd be running towards. So the person that I was hoping would be friends with me got scared from her triggers, I assume is the most likely scenarios. Somebody that was a good listener and able to understand her neuroses that needed to be worked on. So guys, I've already decided a few years ago I will not apologize for undergoing my own maturation process. No, whether you're younger than me or same age or older than me, if this is something that you will always run away from, your own maturation process, which my theory explains will become a more common phenomenon to run away from. But even those that try to succeed, is it's likely not going to be a successful attempt because the resources and role models are not there. It'd be like a fluke almost at this stage. And even myself, when I took, let's say, my life skills coach training and let's say also the pursuit of excellence or a long-term counseling, becoming a helper of others as well, which also allowed me to reference the outside world as a form of undergoing my own maturation process, that it's not just about me. It's, other social creatures are involved in the equation. And that is a responsibility that I have towards them to undergo my own maturation process, whether I have my own kids or whether I am a job where I am a helper to others or not. It's my responsibility, not just because my DNA makes it so, because this large brain is very dangerous to the biosphere if it does not undergo its own maturation process. So I will not apologize for having succeeded at this, and I will not regress in this way to make you more comfortable. I would hope to one day, and I need to once in a while let my heart hallucinate that it's a possibility and it's a strategy for me, even though, there are red flags I can identify. Sometimes I decide maybe this person would become like-minded and like-behaved. But I've never met anybody that was already at similar levels and therefore an Homo sapien. So, but I need to let that hallucination come. It's a form of vitamins I take once in a while. Let the heart hallucinate. It's a form of medicine once in a while that I need to inject myself with so that things don't de-escalate too much living among you. That if I do enter roles of helpers, that I'm not in despair of the species I share DNA with too much. So it's one of the little toolkits I have in my suffering from species alienation and unacknowledged diagnoses from a species that causes it, right? It doesn't want to acknowledge it. That somebody with advanced sentience and sapience would think and feel certain things based on the norm, the species. So that, this is never something that's going to be taken seriously, of course, because it means that you would have to take your own personal development and looking at yourselves in the mirror and your own objectivity and your own realistic stage of your own development more seriously, and it's not something that's going to happen. So how do I feel about this? Well, I'm not super surprised. I'm not going to give details because I don't have all of them, but it's just patterns, really, probabilities that have happened many times before, and and I know that even though the person was a counselor, not to expect more than the average person from them because, well, my theory explains it. It doesn't matter if the person is rich, if the person is in the highest helper role in their dysfunctional societies. or if they are, on the same page and in agreement with me about everything. Because the block is, when the triggers are discovered, or incongruences or cognitive dissonance, is where will I or where will this person choose to go? Now, for many years, I've decided to go straight at solutions, and therefore have become a very transparent and resilient person. But this is not something that is chosen by the norm as a path. The path is sometimes interact with Martin, a great excitement about agreeing on ideas, but then a regression on the part of the other person, because stagnation is, it's too superficial to attempt, when they know that I'm a good observer and I have insight into their minds. So, and then the other side is progress, which is overwhelming, and doesn't matter if I offer to help. So the final outcome is usually a regression from that person. So I'm constantly me, and I remain this way. And I don't need to be looking for all the answers. And I'm sure the person has assumptions about what my thoughts and feelings have been through this 48 hours or so. And that is meant to justify their response and their rationalization of going into deeper instead of coming up for air or light. And so people, when you interact with the elusive Homo sapien that you guys get to meet that I don't, please have the decency not to hurt yourselves or others more by sharing your rationalizations in ways that harm you and others. Just write in a diary, this is how I felt meeting this person, this is all the qualities I noticed in Martin, and then suddenly I started panicking for this or that reason. And, maybe you'll start realizing some of the ways that HSD looks in your head, or feels in your feelings, and that's less harmful to me as well. But mostly it's less harmful to you and others. It's just write about it. Don't kind of allow people to create even wilder assumptions or scenarios that makes me more and more shunned, because these conspiracies against me are real. They're explainable, and they're not really born of bad intentions any more than they would be, towards just an automatic response to somebody else that people don't identify with. But that's still there, and it's just very draining to have to move on all the time, or to let it go and think that, okay, at some point I'll probably let my heart hallucinate again, that a friendship with a consistent, transparent, congruent person is possible. And again, I strongly believe this counselor was probably good for her clients compared to the psychiatrist from South Korea that I spent 9 hours with in Vancouver a few years ago. I don't believe she would have been, if she spent time with clients. I think she was more theoretical than clinical. But so anyways, this is how I feel today. It's an empty spot beside me, and I dread, having to, be friendly with others and then see that they might also be curious in me, but I'm not ready right now to trust somebody's friendliness again.